I like to be able to see us too.
Yeah, I like that.
Packed house, what? I like this.
They say winning don't solve everything, but it does.
Welcome into the Character Bears Network for another edition of the GP. Are you with me, Character Coaches Show live from Pizzaville, USA, just like we are every week, Coach. A lot more fun these days, though, as the Bears just rattled off third straight victory, beating Sam Houston Friday night, 37 to 27. And Coach, it was a much needed win. It's a game that you felt that you played the most complete you have all season long, and got a winning streak going. You have a lot of positive energy going. There's a lot of confidence and swagger around you guys now. Got to feel pretty good.
Absolutely, it does feel pretty good, man. And we have one of our pride panel members and team captains, Wilson Landry, sitting right here in front of me. And one of the things that he mentioned, I think at our meeting on Monday, was that this felt like the first win. Just very proud of the way we went out there and competed. Very, very proud of the way we came out and executed. Obviously, would like for us to be able to do it at an efficient rate for 4 quarters. We didn't necessarily play that well on the defense side of the football in the first half. And then also, too, we want to be able to get games started a lot faster. We got to be able to put drives in the end zone, at least get a couple first downs on the first drive. So, obviously, those are things that we would like to correct. But what a phenomenal win against a phenomenal program. That's 2 instant classics we played against those guys
Really
2
three.
years in a
Really
row.
three. I mean,
or 3, yeah. That was a shootout the year before, I think.
70-point scoreboard.
Yeah. So, and very proud of us on the defense side of the ball in the second half. Those guys scored 55 on us 2 years ago and scored 47 on us at their place last year. And to be able to come out in the second half and do what we did to them and then be able to hold them, I think it was 31 yards passing total through 4 quarters. I think they had 31 yards passing maybe on the first 3 plays, you know what I'm saying, the last 2 years. So just very proud of the progress that we've made.
And of course, if you're joining us on the Character Bears Network, you can still come out to Pizzaville, USA, where it is a blast tonight. Packed house here with the Bears win 3 in a row. Of course, we had 114 Derrick Plaza right off of Exit 4 on Veterans Boulevard. Pizzaville has specials all week long. Mondays, buy one, get one. Tuesday, kids eat for free. And then there's lunch specials starting at $10 Monday through Friday. We've got an action-packed show, of course. GP joining me the first and last segment, but smacked in between, we have special treat for you tonight. Reggie Cormier, class of 2004. He was a hooper for Coach Kovac on the hardwood. He's going to join us, and we're going to talk about what his class did last week for their homecoming festivities and how they're giving back to the community. But also, he was coached by Coach Billy McCauley at Carencro Middle in both basketball and football. So he's going to give us a little insight about Coach McCauley. And then we're going to have really a special guest. A guest of honor tonight is going to be Coach Billy McCauley, who's going to join us in the third segment. And he's going to, we'll talk about all his accolades. I know you don't like to talk about that, but we'll talk about what he really did for this community and how he built a brand that Carencro football thrived in back in the 90s and 2000s.
Iconic, man. Definition of iconic is widely known and well respected, and Coach Billy McCauley is widely known and well respected, and he's not only, an icon in the community of Carencro, but he's an icon in the Acadiana area. Mad respect to him, and I'm glad we're going to be able to honor him and give him his flowers.
I'm super pumped about it, and I couldn't be happier for him and his family. It's much, much deserved. So we're going to go back and talk now about the big win against Sam Houston and how you guys, you said play complete game. Coach, on the defensive side of the football, look, you gave up some chunk plays. You gave up, over 200 yards in the rush game. They had a phenomenal back who had over 200 yards in the first half rushing the football. But in the second half, it was a different story. Adjustments were made. You held him to 6 carries and less than 30 yards in the second half. And at the end of the day, it's a 10-point win against a district opponent who's typically used to putting up big numbers. You got to be pretty proud the way the defense came out and really made the adjustments in the second half.
No doubt, absolutely. And, the entertainment eye from the stands, will look at it and said that we made adjustments. Honestly, we didn't make any adjustments. I watched the game probably about 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday night, and I immediately started sending texts about how, the first couple touchdowns was just a lack of execution. We just didn't do what we were supposed to do. And great teams like Sam Houston, they force you to play 11 on 11 football. And if one guy doesn't do their job, things can crease, and unfortunately that's what happened. And we didn't necessarily make adjustments. We just did a better job of executing in the second half, and we've got to be able to do that for 4 quarters now to go out here and continue our run to compete for a district championship.
And on the offensive side of the football, it had to be a performance that, as an offensive-minded coach, you're pretty darn proud of. You held the football for almost 30 minutes in the game, controlled the clock, had 22 first downs, and 450 yards of total offense, and you got it both done on the ground and through the air.
Absolutely. We've been pretty solid the last 3 weeks offensively. We just haven't had drives finish in the end zone. I think this is 3 weeks in a row now where we have over 400 yards of offensive production. But this was the first night where I guess the scoreboard was able to kind of reflect it, And it's just no different than the same old story every week. It's just a constant work in progress. And, I think we've gotten a little bit better again this week. And hopefully we can continue to improve our production, because one thing we're not used to around here is not being able to produce offensively. And, we're very prideful. As coaches, we have a lot of pride in our performance. And, this is not our standard of how we've operated, most of this year. So I'm just kind of glad to see us maybe kind of turn the corner a little bit, and hopefully we can continue the offensive production. Look, for us to win this championship and make a run and practice on Thanksgiving, we're going to need this type of offensive production on a week-in and week-out basis.
Look, the two-back classics, going back to that, has opened up the offense and allowed you to do some different things, but the efficiency through the air was just phenomenal on Friday night. CBAB went 11 for 16 for 194 yards and 3 tutties. You spread the ball out to multiple different receivers. He was more patient in the pocket and made great reads and great throws all night long. That's something that we haven't seen him execute at that high of a level so far yet this year.
No doubt. I don't know if we've ever seen it done in his career. I think I mentioned this to you before we got started today. We've broken every record in the history of the school the last 2 years, but I'm not quite sure if we've ever been as efficient as we were this past Friday. And that was one of the focus points in the summer and in the fall, was that I say, look, even though we've been very successful in the air the last 2 years, we haven't been very efficient. I think last year we completed maybe 57% of our passes. And I remember when early on in the season when Babb was kind of ranked in the top of the state in passing yards, the other guys that was ranked up there was 69%, 70%, 71%. And I said, man, we've got to get more efficient, So unfortunately, we haven't been very efficient. So far this year, but that definitely turned the corner on Friday, and I expect it to continue to be consistently that way for the rest of the year.
Talk about a couple areas where you got to improve in. Right before the half, they were able to score a touchdown from 22 yards out on the last play of the first half, where you had an opportunity to make tackles at or near the line of scrimmage, again, right past the line of scrimmage, and the next thing you know, he's gone into the end zone to give Sam Houston a lot of momentum at that time. More consistent tackling seems to be a priority that you put in the second half, and you saw better results.
Yeah, I mean, once again, that was a whole bunch of mental errors, man. The possession started off with a mental error. Was supposed to do a deep squib, and it ends up being an onside kick, so we give them great field position. Shouldn't have been in that situation. We had an unfortunate horse collar call and a couple other penalties that kind of, gave them some extra yardage. And then on the last play of the game, on the last play of the half, I mean, we have a call out there that protects us, both vertically and horizontally, and we don't execute it correctly. Our safeties didn't quite have their eyes where they need to be and key what they need to key. So we were short a hat or two in the run fit, and we had one guy that had a chance to make the tackle at the line of scrimmage, and we missed it. So, look, Sam Houston's a phenomenal team. They're a phenomenal team, and they're a phenomenal offense. But when I watched that film at about 2 o'clock, Friday night, or I guess early Saturday morning, we didn't execute. That's
Drew Bailey was still giving you nightmares at that time, Coach.
those first couple, touchdowns and right before half, we just didn't execute. we had mental errors that prevented us from executing the way we needed to.
And on special teams, look, Matthew Latham, the freshman kicker, starting to come into his own, much more comfortable kicking those extra points. Kickoffs, though, seem to continue to be a challenge and trying to figure out the right mix there.
Absolutely, but I expect us to be a lot better at it on Friday, and I expect us to be a lot better at it going forward for the rest of the year. We've made some personnel changes up there, and, I expect us to be a lot more efficient.
Coach, you said winning cures everything. The confidence level's higher. The team feels better. You talked about, what Wilson Landry said to the Unity Council. What's the demeanor of the team now coming off of those 3 straight wins?
It's improving for sure. We're just still so young. We're still so young, and that I don't know if we know how to win yet, and know how to appreciate winning. So I guess it's just kind of all part of the process. I've never had a year like this. I've never coached a team like this. I think it's great for my career. I think it's great for all of our careers, that we kind of get to experience this. But the morale has definitely improved. And we definitely have a lot more energy, and we have a lot more sense of purpose of the way, we go about our business. But it's still not to where we want it to be. And that's the responsibility of guys like Wilson Landry and the coaching staff and the Unity Council and the entire team to buy into the principles and values and standards of the organization and get to there.
Patience is a virtue, huh, Coach?
Had
to learn that the hard way this year. But look, last week we were sitting here and you were the outside looking in the playoff picture. With the win against Sam Houston, you vaulted up all the way to 23rd with a lot of opportunity to move up even more. Again, you don't get to do that. I can. I'm on the sideline. I can look ahead at the opponents. I can look ahead at the how the PowerPoints could shake out. There's still some damage to do. There's still some opportunity to be had. Look, one more win solidifies you to firmly be in the bracket and make the postseason. Is that something that's a message to the team that you guys are trying to accomplish that Friday night?
Oh, absolutely. We mentioned that a week ago. We told them, we said, look, guys, just being honest and just being real with you. We have done ourselves no favors here. We've got to win, at least, I don't know what the number was last week. We told them, but we didn't tell it to the team, but we told it to the Unity Council, and I think that definitely kind of gave us a little bit of an edge, and we came out and emptied the tank and strained to finish just a little bit more, So obviously every game is playoff mode from this point out. We said that last week. It's just a reality situation, and we call it shark season. All right, that there ain't no fishes no more. You know what I'm saying? That we swimming with. Well, with this schedule that we done played, I'm not sure if we ever swim with fishes. But it's definitely shark season, and we got to be able to be sharks and swim with the sharks to be able to keep going. And not get eaten alive.
As we look forward to seeing Coach Billy McCauley come to join us, in the next couple segments. Tell me how you first came to, knowledge of Coach McCauley and really how did you learn about him when you first came into the program?
I think that I first heard about Coach Billy McCauley from Judd Broussard and Dawson Durbin back when I was coaching at Acadiana High School. And then when I came to Carencro High School, working with Coach Derek Franchek and Coach Joey Dwyer, who both Coach Joey coached with Coach McCauley for maybe about 15 years, and Coach Franchek played for Coach McCauley and Coach Size, and just listening to all the stories, man, and just realizing how strong of an impact, that guy had on this community and on the football program at Carencro High School. And one of the biggest things that I wanted to do when I took over was bring the community back. I wanted to restore the community. I wanted to get the stadiums back packed like it was in the 90s and the 2000s. Obviously, unfortunately, we quite haven't done our part of winning games, which obviously is going to put more butts in the seat. But, I just wanted to get, more Carencro football guys, former Carencro players on staff, and the legends, man, the legends. When I was at Acadiana High School, the legends were always around. Willard Hanks, Scott McCullough, Ted Davison, you name it, and they're still there today. They're still there today, and I want the legends, the Mac Baruses, the Rip Evelins, the Billy McCauleys. I want those guys to be involved and be invested into this program. Every great program has it, and like I said, I spent my first 8 years at Acadiana High School. I have a lot of respect for that program and the way they operate. So, I want the same type of family and legendary tradition here at Carencro High School.
Well, Coach, look, it's well on its way. We have a packed house tonight over here at Pizzaville, USA. The man of the hour, Coach Billy McCauley, just walked in, and rightfully so. Everybody's real excited to see him. Give him a little bit of a round of applause here. It's going to be a special night and a special week, not only for Carencro football, but the entire community. And
yes,
I think that's wonderful what you guys are doing.
That's awesome. Yes, sir.
We're going to step aside for the first time tonight. When we come back, Reggie Cormier is going to join us, class of 2004, talk about what his class is doing to leave their footprints here in Carencro, and then his time under Coach Billy McCauley. And you could hear it all right here on the Carencro Bears Network.
Are you a jambalaya fan? And would you like to see all you can eat jambalaya for only $10? If the answer is yes, then come out and support Carencro's Bears Kick Down Club at their 3rd annual jambalaya cook-off. There will be food, music, live and silent auctions, and a whole lot of fun available to you. And for my cooks, sign up so we can see who really has the best jambalaya around. This will all take place on October 26, 2024 at 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Save the date you don't want to miss.
Hey, Blaine Viatar, voice of the Carencro Golden Bears here. You could join us each and every week for the GP Are You With Me Carencro Coaches Show live from Pizzaville, USA, 7 to 8. Either catch us on the Carencro Bears Network or come join us live here, right here in the Derrick Plaza at Pizzaville, USA. Hey, Blaine Viatar, voice of the Carencro Golden Bears here. You could join us each and every week for the GP Are You With Me Carencro Coaches Show live from Pizzaville, USA, 7 to 8. Either catch us on the Carencro Bears Network or come join us live here, right here in the Derrick Plaza at Pizzaville, USA. Welcome back to the Carencro Bears Network. It's the GP Are You With Me Carencro Coaches Show. And this segment, of course, is brought to you each and every Thursday night now by Ground Patty at 505 West Pond de Mouton Road. Thursday night steak night. Friday night they got live music. And Reg, go Sunday before we watch the Hootats. You get bottomless mimosas, and the way the Saints are playing, you might need a couple pictures of those things, my brother.
That's for sure.
Joining with me now is Reggie Cormier, class of 2004, and his class just finished something really, really cool. It was homecoming last week. They came out, they showed out, but more importantly, they made a difference in not only the community, but also the youth and the upcoming class of the seniors this year and going forward. Let's start and talk about the scholarship. Reg, that was just so unique that you guys really came out and said, hey, we want to do something that leaves a legacy, that makes a difference, and y'all did just that.
Yep, absolutely, Blaine. Yeah, man, that's what we do, man. As far as my class, we're very tight-knit still to this day. And as we was preparing to figure out what homecoming weekend would look like for us, we digged a little deep and we was like, hey, man, we got to do something a little differently, right? We want to do something that's gonna stay. We want to do something that's gonna set a legacy. That way, kids know that we with them. And I think that's what the scholarship program came about. And is only popping up, brother.
So, okay, the scholarship is going to be $2,004. You guys are going to give to 2 students, I believe, is what's going to happen. And students are going to be able to apply for that and write an essay, and you guys will have an interview process?
Yep, absolutely, man. So, yeah, at the end of the year, the goal is to have them submit essays, talk about their life, talk about their story. The big thing is we want to hear the stories, right? We want to hear the stories, and we want to, grade and get those people that have those stories that we want to impact. And make sure that we get the right person. But everybody deserving the crew, right? So we just want to pretty much let them know that, hey, we got y'all back 100%.
Love to hear that, man. A lot of times homecoming is all about the party, right? And the party's always going to be there. When you get folks together that you used to hang out with for a long time, you're going to have a good time. I saw you guys turn up on Saturday night, so I know y'all did y'all thing. But on Saturday morning, you guys got up, went and hosted a community day over at K-Side Park. Y'all had a 5K. Y'all had fun jumps for the kids. Y'all had mental health awareness. Y'all had health screenings, job fair. I saw Miss Notwin came out and gave a speech. Our school board members went out and gave a speech. And it was really just come on, come all, everybody for the community at Carencro.
Yeah, man, it was beautiful. Had a great night the night before. We definitely turned up the pro way, But the next day, man, early 7 o'clock next morning, we was setting up. All the classes, all the classmate volunteers was there. We had people in the community there. Ms. Knott was able to bless us with her presence, and we had other people there to just come and just share the community what they have. One of the coolest things about that is that everybody that was there was Carencro. It was Carencro. So everybody that was around that had their tents, everybody out there was, medical screens, talking about their different vendors. It was all Carencro. So it was really great to see.
Hey, if you have a good party on a Friday night, ain't no way to get away from it and beat them feet Saturday morning in the 5K. I saw you out there running, man. You gave them a run for their money?
Yeah, you know what I do. I'm that guy. So, yeah, when it comes to that, to beating them feet, man, it was great. But more importantly, just getting out there and socializing, talking with the people in the community, and just pretty much talking about health, right? Physical fitness, mental fitness. It's important for our community. It's important for our people. And I think that was the big part. As far as the run was what it was, but the reason for the run was the biggest picture of it all.
Reggie Cormier, class of 2004, used to be a hooper for Coach Kovac on the hardwood. He still got them quick hands away. Still them feet are still quick.
Still nice.
I like it, the confidence and the swagger. So since you left Carencro, you've been on a journey. You've been all around the world. Why don't you tell the folks listening at home what Reg did after he left Carencro?
Yeah, man. So graduated 2004. Took off and wanted to serve my country. Wanted to do something bigger than myself. Went and joined the Air Force. 20 years later, here I am. Then stayed in 7 different states. Then traveled pretty much all across the world. And, man, this has been a blessing just to kind of get out there and see what the world looks like. But more importantly, again, I know that for me to get out there, it wasn't for myself. I need to share that with other people. So that was my big thing as far as letting people know in Carencro, letting the people know, like my friends and family, hey, man, this is a great opportunity. Think about the Air Force. Think about the military, right? Just people that's working so hard and, being a team player. That's what you're doing, but you're on a bigger team, right? You're serving your country. So it don't get no bigger than that, baby.
You out there, man, and you got to see a lot of the world. And you learned a lot of those lessons back when you went to Carencro Middle. And, we're honoring Coach Billy McCauley this week and the impact he's had on this community, not just from an athletic standpoint. He instilled values in you that you still use to this day in the, in the armed forces. Why don't you tell us about how Coach Billy McCauley really left his stamp on you?
Yeah, man. I always say whenever I love to go to basic training, it was easy. It was easy work because if you get through Coach McCauley, everything else would be pretty easy. And that's pretty much because he built us up mentally, right? It wasn't about your physical attributes, but it was more about making you believe in yourself, making you believe that, yeah, you him, making you believe that you can push harder, you committed, discipline, standards, and upholding those standards. So those values that I learned from Coach McCauley, man, I was just ready, right? And I think for me, not only I was ready for the military, I was ready to be a leader just because of those qualities that he already instilled in me. And I watched him lead, the whole Carencro, all these men and, even the girls love Coach. I'm saying? Like he loves everybody and he impacted everybody. And, yeah.
Well, winning's important, and everybody loves to win, and Coach McCauley won a lot. So many parish championships in all sports, right? Football, basketball, track and field. He did it all. but that was kind of a byproduct of what he instilled in folks, and the process to get there was more important. I mean, if you got through practice, right, the games were easy.
Easy work, easy work. Practice was easy work, and one of the things that I look at now, looking back, one thing that he did that I really, really understand now is that he took care of us. He took care of us. If you take care of somebody, man, they'll take care of you. So whenever it was time for us to run through that wall, we're going to run. No, we're going to run because we know that he's going to take care of us on the back end. And he just treated us all like family. I mean, we got 17 people in the back of that little truck. We jumping out, he dropping us off at our houses. And it was just great to have him really buy into us as young men, so we can see our value. We can believe in ourselves and be prepared mentally for the next challenges, right? So that's why you have those great people, not only athletes, but just people that's doing great in the world just because of what they learned from Coach McCauley.
Well, that's one thing that I hear from everybody is, look, he coached some tremendous athletes, the Kevin Falks, the Lucas Taylors of the world. But at the end of the day, hey, if there's a 6th or 7th guy on the bench, they got coached hard too. It didn't matter where you were on the depth chart. He was giving you his all each and every day.
Absolutely. I mean, Coach didn't care who you was, how small you was, how big you was, how high you can jump. I'm 5'6". All right, I'm lying. I was probably like 5'2". So, yeah. I was like 5'2", right?
Hey, I think you're taller than Coach Kovac, and I do radio with him every Friday.
Yeah,
so
I got him.
You got him a little bit.
I got Kovac and I got Coach McCauley, so I'm good, right? But yeah, man, Coach didn't matter, man, how tall you was. Like, he was gonna get the best out of you, and he was gonna coach you the same way. He was gonna make sure that, hey, there's something in you, and he wanted to pull it out of you, and he was gonna pull it out of you, and that's what made Coach. Coach.
And when you got to Carencro High, I mean, you've already been through the ringer, not that Coach Kovac is a different standard, but it was you were already ready for that next step and that next moment in your life. Tell me about the transition when you really realized, like, okay, like, this man's special. He instilled something in me, like, because as a kid, right, you go through that kind of stuff. You don't know, but eventually you had to be like, okay, this is, this is why I'm like this.
Yeah. So one of the things that really caught my attention, and it caught me early on, is that I used to sit back and I used to watch Coach, like, take care of the people, right? And, when you got good friends and you got people from everywhere, man, watching coaches take care of my teammates who became my best friends. And, I just love to see him take care of people, man, take care of people. And you like that. You gravitate to that, right? And you want to do the same thing and want to take care of the people. And for me, like, man, like, from day one, like, once I left Carencro Middle, man, like, I knew that I was prepared for whatever just because of how much he instilled in me, and I knew I was ready for the next. And, like I said, as I went through my military journey, I had so much tools already. I felt like I was ahead of the game. I was like, I'm ready to be the leader right now. Even just getting in, I'm ready to be the leader, but I had to wait my time. But when that time happened, just because of what I had with Coach McCauley, it was easy work.
Well, look, he can't make you run the gassers anymore. He can't do that. So you can share a little something for us. Why don't you give us a story from back when you were at Carencro Middle, that just really stands out in your mind?
Yeah, man. So I kind of like the stories of Coach, brother.
Of course, age appropriate, right?
So we all know, man. Coach was just a tough guy. I mean, a few things, Coach. When I would just a regular person go talk to Coach, we go up there very confident. You just never know whenever that hand will come out or that pinch will come at you or that ring will come and start hitting you on your head. I'm like, Coach, I didn't even do nothing. What I'm getting the ring to my head for? Telling me I'm weak-minded. Like, I didn't even do nothing yet, Yeah, man. Coach. No matter how big it was, man, Coach is gonna make you come down to his size. If it was through that pinch or through that ring popping on your head, you was coming down. Or if you really made him mad, man, Coach grabbing that face mask, Coach shaking you up real quick. Hey, get your mind right. Get back in the game.
Kids are built different these days, huh?
Definitely.
But I think it's because of guys like Coach Billy McCauley and the impact that he had. Well, Reg, I appreciate your time. You coming on. It's great to get to see you. You're not in town that often, so able to see you the last couple weeks. It's been a treat for myself too, man. Appreciate you a ton, and hopefully I can see you before you head out again.
Absolutely, man. Love the crew, man. Shout out to RIP Coach Chapman too, by the way, man. He was a big integral part of Coach McCauley coaching, so I don't want to forget him. Coach Chapman was a big key to him as well, man. So I just want to make sure we give him a shout as well. And,
100%.
Thank you so much for having me, and love the crew, brother, always.
Appreciate it. There you have it. Reggie Cormier, class of 2004, telling us about his class and the legacy they left on Carencro, as well as some stories about Coach Billy McCauley. We're going to step aside, but when we come back, we'll have the guest of honor, Billy McCauley, right here on the Carencro Bears Network.
Are you a jambalaya fan? And would you like to eat all you can eat jambalaya for only $10? If the answer is yes, then come out and support Carencro's Bears Takedown Club at their 3rd annual jambalaya cook-off. There will be food, music, live and silent auctions, and a whole lot of fun available to you. And for my cooks, sign up so we can see who really has the best jambalaya around. This will all take place on October 26, 2024 at 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Save the date you don't want to miss.
Hey, Blaine Viatar, voice of the Carencro Golden Bears here. You could join us each and every week for the GP Are You With Me Carencro Coaches Show live from Pizzaville, USA, 7 to 8. Either catch us on the Carencro Bears Network or come join us live here, right here in the Derrick Plaza at Pizzaville, USA.
I'll put this on.
Wrong way, opposite way. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Coach.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, we on? Hey, we're right back at it on the Carencro Bears Network. It's the GP Are You With Me Carencro Coaches Show. And, of course, we're live at Pizzaville, USA at 114 Derrick Plaza off of Veterans Boulevard and Exit 4. And speaking of Exit 4, I got the most Exit 4 man in the entire city sitting right next to me. It's Coach Billy McCauley. Coach, look, well-deserved applause is here. It's an honor to be able to sit next to you tonight, and congratulations on getting all your flowers this week. It's very deserved.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having this. Thanks, Coach Peters, for having this and putting me on, and thanks to all the fans that come out. And hey, it's old time, and I miss it. And hey, I don't know what to say.
Well, we're excited that you're here. So you got what year did you get to Carencro Middle?
86.
86, and your last year was?
20 years from that. So
Okay.
20 years from that.
Wow. So you had Carencro 20 years. You coached a lot of great athletes, won a lot of football games. But that's not what you're going to be the most remembered for. It's what you had, the impact on the community and all these young men's lives is what everybody's going to remember. And just the way you coached the game and the way you got the most out of your players and made them strong men. When you first started coaching, how quickly did it take to kind of develop that style?
Well, it took a while because when I went to the school the first time, I went to the principal's office and asked him about the football field. The grass was about 8 inches, 10 inches tall. I said, what about the field, cuts the field? He said, the lady said, where I come from, the coach cuts the field. I said, that's fair, that's fair. And I knew what I was up against when she said that, but I was good with it. So I turned around and I moved on, and we got some lawnmowers and some football players, and we cut the football field with some push mowers back then. Cut the field with some push mowers. And I didn't really want a middle school program. I wanted a high school program on a middle school level. So, I got a lot of help. We redid the football field. We put a sprinkler system on the football field. We plowed it up. We planted new grass. Mr. King Cole had the feed store back then, and he did a lot of stuff for me, him and his wife, Miss Cindy. And, I can't tell everybody, I can't remember everybody that was part of the program back then, but I had a lot of great support. I had a lot of good teachers, that would want to help the kids, because we had kids that, they didn't understand. You have to work really hard in the classroom, and just as hard as you work on the football field. And I was big with that. I didn't want them to skip a beat. I didn't want to miss one in a game. I didn't want to miss one in the report card. So we were determined you do what you have to do when practice is over. You go do something else. But
do what you're supposed to do to stay eligible. Back then, I'm not too sure if they stay eligible anymore, like they did back then, because you had to have a certain average. I don't know about the averages anymore, but anyhow.
Well, look, back in your day, you wanted your kids to play all sports. You almost
Yes.
demanded that.
Yes, tri-sport.
That was it's a little different nowadays, right?
Right.
In your opinion, what difference does that make when you get a kid playing all three sports?
Well, I just think like Lil Reg. Lil Reg played football, basketball, and track. And we had a tri-sport letter, and we'd give a trophy for if you played three sports. And that was something that they want to do. And I just think that it keeps them out of trouble a little bit if they stay, engaged in three sports. Because if they just play football, when football's over, they're not going to want to. They're not going to want to listen anymore because I won't be there with them, So they'll get in trouble. But I just think that you're better off if you stay engaged throughout the year in something, do something prosperous, and that's kind of what we pushed. But I hope that majority of them did three sports, but it was hard. We were tough. We were really tough, really tough back then. You had to do exactly what you had to do, and after a while, after we built the program we built, it was just a matter of just filling in after a while, They want to play, and they want to do good. That was the main thing.
And winning was just a byproduct of the process that you put the kids through, yourself through, your coaching staff through. Talk about how that process came about and how you were able to develop that in your own unique way.
I'm not too sure. It's hard to coach by yourself. I'm not too sure how I got Coach Joey. but I got Coach Joey, and Coach Joey was like another coach. Coach Joey knew the game at a young age. He was good with the kids. And then I picked up Coach Chapman. Coach Chapman passed away a few years ago, and Coach Chapman was really good with the kids, And we had three coaches on the staff, and that's kind of how we rolled. And we just worked so hard. We'd run a mile in PE. They go dress PE. We jump boxes in PE. We had medicine balls. We had jump ropes, and we do the PE thing. Go run a mile, then go play football. And then come practice after school. So I think we outworked most people is what I think. And then we had good players with that. So that's kind of how that went.
And you had a unique relationship with Coach Mac Barus and the whole staff at Karen Crow. You guys would talk on a weekly basis. Would y'all talk about installs? How did that relationship develop?
Well, let me see. I guess during the summer. It all started with Coach Key, then Coach Artigo. They were there before. Then Coach Barus took over. And I started hanging out over there all the time and watching what they were doing and trying to copy some stuff probably. And it went from there. And then just some little things to make the kids happy. We used to ride a Greyhound once a year. And Coach Barus would pay for the Greyhound. The kids thought they were in heaven, man. Get on a Greyhound bus for a football game. And we get to some places, and they didn't like that too much. But anyhow, again, about 2 hours ago, I was at Mr. Jimmy's house. Mr. Jimmy's probably the first man I met in Karen Crow. He had that station there, and I probably needed gas or something. And we didn't have a place. We were going to move. We didn't have a place. Mr. Jimmy found me a rent house, and we moved here. My wife, Joanne, moved in the middle of the night with a couple other people, and I stayed home with Aaron. Aaron was a baby then. And that's kind of how we got to Karen Crow. And I just like to win, probably too much, man.
I don't think there's such thing, Coach.
It got to me later as I got older. It started being a pressure, and I felt like, what's going to happen if you don't win a football game? What's going to happen, Basketball, you play 30 games, so you could probably lose 1 or 2. Track, you run 7, 8 track meets, but that's kind of how it was. I remember, Blaine, we were running at Lafayette High one day, and we in single file, of course, and we get on the bus, and I turn around, and there's about 20 guys fighting, man. I said, what they fighting for? They said, Coach, Damon James hit one of them from Lafayette Middle. I said, Damon James, who is? I didn't know who Damon James was. So I started hollering Al Tony, Wilson Noel, those guys. I said, stop, man, stop. And it kind of cooled down, but then we got on the bus, and then it was kind of, of course, you're wrong. If somebody hits you, you're not supposed to hit back. But, that's not me. Somebody hit you. Somebody hit you, gonna hit back. You gonna hit
It's no
back.
fight or flight, right,
No,
Coach?
we're not running. If you run, you never stop running. So we kept
And then DJ comes to Carricker, and the rest is history, right?
Yes, DJ went to Carricker.
Well, look, you won a lot on all three of those sports, and you've coached some really, really good teams. What year do you think you maybe had your most special group of kids?
Probably that '92 team that won state. You know, Big Nasty and all them, Jonah, and I won't be able to name them all, but probably that year. We started football all together and we ended all together, and they stayed together at Carricker High School. They didn't lose any, so they had that whole group, and then I'm pretty sure they added a few with them. But that '92 team, and I knew they were special. Maceo Livings, I can't remember all those guys. They all deserve the credit, but I won't be able to remember them all. But we had a really, really good team, and I mean we were nobody was gonna beat us. That's kind of how it was back then.
And you coach Kevin Falk. Guy played,
Yes.
college football All-American, 3-time Super Bowl champion.
Yes.
How special was he at that age?
He was, and a little story. The first day Kevin came to my office, his mama came, and she said, "Coach McCauley, here's Kevin's asthma pump." She says, let him use it at practice. I thought to myself, asthma pump. So she left, and I took the asthma pump and I put it in my file cabinet. So when I saw Kevin at the end of the day, I said, "Kevin, man, your mom came by." I said, "What you want, Coach?" She said, "You came with your asthma pump." But I said, "Kevin, don't ever use it as a crutch. No, it's gonna stay in my file cabinet. Don't worry about no asthma pump. We gotta play football."
Outside of Kevin, you coach some really big-time guys. Give me a couple guys that really just stand out to you that really made a difference in your coaching career.
Lucas was one of them. Lucas Taylor was one of them that never said a word. And could do anything on the basketball court too. He could shoot the eyes out of the basketball. But Lucas could do anything, and you never heard a word from him. Whatever you told him to do, he did. But Lucas was special. I was thinking last night when I was talking about coming here, I was thinking about Ernest Lazard. Ernest was special too. Ernest was special, man. And Ernest wasn't a Carricker guy. He came from somewhere else. And he was on that '92 team too. And he was kind of one of those guys that was in it. But Ernest was a special, tough guy. But like I said, some other guys, Ricky Johnson was a special guy, a two-sport guy. He could have he made All-State in basketball, All-State in football, and he could jump out the gym and he could really, really run. And again, he was probably about 6'2" back then. We didn't have a lot of big kids. I wish we'd had a lot of big kids because it had even been more dangerous if we'd had a lot of big kids.
I know you had a couple knuckleheads like Little Reg out there that you kind of changed and developed into some beast.
Yes.
Who's maybe a guy or two that really, came in and maybe they weren't really mentally prepared and maybe weak-minded? I know you like to talk about weak-minded when you were able to really get the best out.
Yeah, if you came from a different school, you weren't prepared to blend in without people. you want to try to find another place to go. You didn't want it. Let me see if I can think about some other guys that like I said, I mentioned Al Tony Davis. Al Tony was a man. I mentioned Wilson Noel a little bit. But Pee Wee Cormier. Pee Wee passed away. He passed away probably about 10, 15 years ago. I heard he had some kind of problems in Houston, but Pee Wee was a special guy. Blake Sampig, again, a few names are coming to me. Blake was as good a leader as you ever find. He was probably about 5'4", but the kids loved him. He played quarterback, and whatever he said, the kids did. And it was hard. Now, Devron Patio, names keep coming to me. Devron Patio was a guy that could do anything. Could play defense, could play offense. And I saw a guy the other day stopped. I was walking. He said, "Coach McCauley, you recognize me?" I said, "No." He said, "I'm Travis Francis." I said, "Really?"
That's the name I hadn't heard in a long time.
That's a guy. He rushed for 2,000 yards as a sophomore. And T.O. was another one too. T.O. was a difference maker. He was a difference maker too.
Well, Coach, then Aaron came along and you got to coach your son.
Yeah.
How special was that?
Real special. Aaron still loves the game probably as much as me. And now he's coaching his son.
More of a hard head than you, though, Coach.
Well, probably so. But Aaron loves the game, and he followed me. He rode all the bus trips. He did the high school trips. He did all that. But Aaron's he's done really well for himself and real well with his kids. He's got 2 kids now, about 2 grandkids, Collins and Major, and they're special. And again, I'm not gonna be able to, bring back everybody. And I saw somebody's gonna be upset with me, but did we talk? You talked about Joanna a little bit, or you
Yeah, well, I was gonna bring her up next. I wouldn't let you get off like that, Coach.
Because I'm gonna get.
But behind every good coach, you know, there's a strong support system at home.
I'm gonna get in trouble if I don't talk about.
I know. You had a strong support system. I mean, Miss Joe was there thick and thin.
Yeah, she was there, and she liked to win it almost as much as me, you know. And she told me what to do probably about 100% of the time. She'd say, "Hey, you shouldn't have said this, or you shouldn't have said that," you know. And you should play him, or you shouldn't play him. You know, she was always there. And I don't know. I was never home. She was there with Aaron most of the time. I was always with some other kids, and I remember one time on a bus trip back, one of the kids came. He came to the front, sitting down. He said, "Coach," he said, "Aaron's your son?" I said, "Yeah, baby, he is." He said, "Why can't you be my dad?" I said, "Oh, man, that touched me big time." I said, "I don't know. It'd be special, though. But those kids, they just need love, man. And I think I gave it to them. I hope I did. And like I said, I miss a lot of them, and I miss probably those things. There's some things you don't miss as a coach because you get pulled around from so many different places. But I miss those things. Like I said, Coach Joey, I can't ever say enough about Coach Joey. Coach Joey was like my son. He was there all the time, and he was single most of the time. So when I would cook, I'd say, "Coach, stop by the house, pick up some food." He'd stop by, pick up some food. That went on all the time.
And Coach Joey has a unique story, right? Started with you right out of high school, worked his way all the way up to coaching at Carencro. Now he's the offensive coordinator.
Got you.
What a journey. I mean, that's your coaching tree, Coach.
I got you. And I'm proud of him, and I know he knows what he's doing for sure, and he's never going to do the wrong thing. He's going to always do the right thing. And the kids are going to love him because he's got it in his heart. He's a special guy.
Before I let you go, I mean, you already talked about your two grandkids, but you got a daughter who's pretty special on the hardwood, too. Miss Joe would probably not be fond if you didn't talk about Blair, so I have to help you out, too, Coach.
Blair McCauley playing basketball at STM, and she's done really well. She's been playing since she's a freshman. She's a senior now, and life has kind of moved on by, and now she's got to kind of move on her own, but she's done really well. She's done well academically also, so we're proud of her, and I love her to death.
Excited about tomorrow night. Get to come to the open air Crow Dome. What kind of feeling is that for you and your family?
The carpet might bother me a little bit because I've never seen a carpet. I've never seen a carpet. I've never got to play on a carpet field or coach on a carpet field, and it's going to be. I heard it was very, very special, and I hope it's a special night. I hope the kids play well, and I don't know if I talked enough about Coach Gavin, but Coach Gavin's the one probably set this up with Coach Joe and Coach. I didn't talk about Coach Derek either. Coach Derek played for me. He was just as he's just a great guy also. Never heard anything.
I don't know if I heard somebody say that about him too much.
I asked him when I got in. I said, "How's the offensive line?" He said, "We small, Coach," but he played for me and played all three sports. And I told him, I said, "I remember when we won the Paris track meet. You won the discus. You threw it 125, 126 feet." And I said, "I remember that." And I said, "I think about you." But I didn't want to forget. I hope Derek didn't think I was trying to pass him over, but Derek was special also. Derek was special. And Reg, man, how about Reg, man? Reg loved me since the day he met me, and I love him since the day I met him.
What's not to love about Reg?
We always talk. We always talk, and his mom is just as special. She's a special woman, too. But like I said, again, I don't want my kids to think I didn't mention them. I love them all, and I hope they live a long and prosperous life, all of them.
Well, Coach, I appreciate it. It was an honor to sit here and talk with you today. I look forward to tomorrow night, and you get to get your due. Much deserved, and it's been a long time coming.
Thank you very much.
There you have it. Coach Billy McCauley, the man of the hour, and will be honored tomorrow night at the Open Air Crow Dome for the game against Sulphur. We're going to step aside when we come back. The GP is going to join us again, and we're going to preview that game against the Sulphur Tours right here.
Coach Billy McCauley. Words cannot explain what you mean to this community. Words cannot explain what you mean to a lot of young men from this community.
Your ability to lead by example, showing us that the value of hard work and dedication has been truly inspiring.
At that age, coming in to play a sport, I was very insecure about myself, and I couldn't think of anybody else that I would want to have coach me and develop me into not a football player, but a person.
Teaching us the importance of discipline and hard work as a kid,
that has stuck with me and has helped me in so many different ways. You mean so much to this community. We would not be in the position where we are right now if it wasn't for you, Coach.
The lessons you instilled in me, discipline, resilience, and compassion, are qualities that I carry with me every day.
Through his coaching, through his willpower, through his inspiration, I'm here where I'm at today.
It's helped me to become the man that I am today. We were mentally ready, disciplinedly ready to play football once we got to high school. And that's all credit to you and how you brought us up.
You've taught me the importance of structure and preparation, ensuring that every moment is a step toward success.
When I speak about Coach McCauley, I'm not speaking about a coach. I'm speaking about a person that really gave his life to everything that he believed in and really put in us.
Your unwavering support and belief in our potential have brought out the best of each one of us.
Appreciate everything that you have done and still are doing, just in a small amount.
I just want to give all that thanks to Coach McCauley because without him, I don't know where I'll be today.
Thank you, Coach, for being an exemplary leader and mentor.
I just want to say thank you, Coach McCauley, man. You are the best person that I've ever met in my life, and I give you so much gratitude.
Thank you, Coach McCauley.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Just want to thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach, for your #1 point guard.
We all still remember your ways and know that you will never change. But that's okay, because we still love you, Coach. Love you.
Are you a jambalaya fan? And would you like to see all you can eat jambalaya for only $10? If the answer is yes, then come out and support Carencro's Bears Kickdown Club at their 3rd annual jambalaya cook-off. There will be food, music, live and silent auctions, and a whole lot of fun available to you. And for my cooks, sign up so we can see who really has the best jambalaya around. This will all take place on October 26, 2024 at 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Save the date, you don't want to miss.
Hey, Blaine Viatar, voice of the Carencro Golden Bears here. You could join us each and every week for the GP Are You With Me Carencro Coaches Show live from Pizzaville, USA, 7 to 8. Either catch us on the Carencro Bears Network or come join us live here, right here in the Derrick Plaza at Pizzaville, USA. Welcome back to the Carencro Bears Network, where we're live from Pizzaville, USA for the GP Are You With Me Carencro Coaches Show. And it's our guy, GP, joining us back as we're ready to preview the game against the Sulphur Tours tomorrow night. Sulphur comes in 3-4, Coach, but the record might be a little deceiving. They had some hard-fought wins in those 3 wins, and the 4 losses, 1 or 2 or could have went either way.
Absolutely, man. Look, what a great program they have, a traditional program. I can remember Coach Davidson talking a lot about Sulphur, and the Princes was the last names of some great players I think that may have played there in the 80s and the 90s. And, when I first started coaching this profession, I think Acadiana's first state championship was against Sulphur. Carencro, I think, took some tough losses. I think they might have lost to Sulphur in the quarterfinals that year. Yeah. My last year at Acadiana, Sulphur ended up winning the district championship. So what a great program and tradition that they have. And Coach Cody has taken over, and since he's being a part of that program, you've kind of seen them grow and develop week by week, and they're definitely a much better football team this year than they were a year ago. Look, when you turn on the tape, you can tell if a team is coached extremely well. And I think those guys are coached extremely well, and we're going to have to play really well to be successful.
And when it comes to this group of Salford Tours, what do they do offensively that presents the biggest challenge to you guys?
You know, they're very diverse in how they attack. They have a wrinkle every week, which we're going to have to probably identify very early on and make sure that we are prepared and in position to be able to defend whatever it is that they're doing. And then also, man, I just like them on the defense side of the ball, man. I think the kids play hard. I think they're coached up well. I think they run some really good schemes. You can tell that they're able to adjust based off what teams are kind of doing and giving them. And I just got a lot of respect for those guys, man. Got a lot of respect for the way they operate. And like I said, when you turn on the tape, you can tell that they're extremely well coached. And, you know, I expect no different tomorrow.
The two-back classics has been a staple over the last couple of weeks, and that's when the offense really got going. But it's not just the two-back classic pounding the football. You're multiverse out of that formation, and it's opening up, you know, the passing game, and the outside runs have been really good for us so far this year as well. Is that something that you want to continue to build on? Is it, you know, do you realize you need to be a little more diverse as we get down to the back half of the schedule?
Absolutely. You know, once again, I think Coach Corville famously called it the veer and shoot, you know, and then some other people have added kind of veer rate to it, et cetera, and it's been really good for us the last 2 years. And, you know, we hadn't been quite as good in both aspects this year, but best believe we're still working. You know, best believe we're still working, and the goal is to always be able to be, you know, multidimensional in how we attack and how we operate. I think I said this early in the year. It changed my life about 2 years ago. You know, you always heard the term keep it simple, stupid, you know, and keep. But Steve Sarkisian said that the more things that you can do well, the tougher you are to defend. And we've been very difficult to defend in my entire 15 years of coaching. But we've been very difficult to defend the last 2 years. And, you know, hopefully we can continue to be that way. And I think we've been difficult to defend this year as well. We just hadn't quite executed as well as we need to come out on the winning side of the scoreboard in a couple games. So we've progressively gotten better week by week, and I hope that we've gotten even better this week, and we can go out there and have good production on Friday, regardless of what it is. You know, we really don't care as long as we're going out there and producing. We don't. You know, we don't get in one back or empty or two back or too tight or one tight to please anybody. You know, we do it because we're trying to win games and we're trying to put points and we're trying to produce. And whatever helps us win, that's what we're going to do.
I thought you did it to keep me quiet, Coach. The injury bug came in big.
Well, you know what the funniest thing is, you know, for 13 years, I'll never forget this. For 13 years in my career, all I heard was, throw the ball, Peters, throw the ball. You know, and then about 2 years ago, the week after we played Sam Houston, I heard somebody in the stand saying, run the ball, Peters, run the ball. I said, boy, I never thought I heard people tell me that, you know. Been told to throw the ball so much, and now we're getting told to run the ball. I said, boy, that's just funny right there, man. But, you know, look, I'm very proud of our kids. I'm very proud of our staff. And, you know, very proud that we've been able to kind of turn things around offensively versus kind of how it was at the beginning of the year. And nothing stays the same. You either get better or you get worse. And what we did last week has no bearing on what we do this week. You know, I think we've had a couple good solid days of preparation. And look, tomorrow is still a day of preparation, too. Until that ball is kicked off, we're always preparing. And hopefully we can have another good day of pre-prep tomorrow before the game and go out there and execute well on Friday.
Injury bug bit a little bit. Got a couple guys out the last couple weeks and going to be out again this week. Who's somebody that you're really proud of over the last couple weeks that's really stepped up in the absence of someone else to give you some solid minutes?
You know, I'm very proud of all of our guys up front. Okay, I'm very proud of all of our guys up front. You know, a guy like Tenito Cole, he's been a guy, you know, I always tell the kids, look, I'm a tell you when you're doing things the right way, and I'm going to also correct you when you're doing things the wrong way. And Tenito has been a guy performance-wise, and even off the field in some aspects where he's gotten a lot of butt chewings. And he's a guy right now that we're loving, and we're giving him his praises and very proud of the way he's kind of turned his performance around and the leadership that he's providing. Very proud of those two backs, man, Chris Baham and T.J. Jackson. You know, I thought that what they were able to do and provide for the team last week and not have any negative plays and, you know, just kind of keep battling in there, I thought that was good. Very proud of our freshman quarterback, Carson Gursey. You know, he didn't play much this past week, but the last 2 weeks he has done an amazing job of being a scout team quarterback. And, you know, the look that we're able to give Monday through Thursday is very important in us being able to go out there and execute on a Friday. And, you know, he's been outstanding. Hayden Monroe is another kid who is a freshman who, you know, when it comes down to freshman football, he's played pretty well this year, but hadn't quite had the success that might have anticipated in JV and varsity. But he's a kid that's been battling, and also a kid that, you know, a couple weeks ago against New Iberia was a great scout team guy for us, and I look for him to have some production as the season continues to go on. So, you know, very proud of all those guys that I name, and a bunch more as well. You know, a bunch more as well. But those are some guys that really stick out in my mind. You know, Denarius Christman is a guy that's, man, he's 5'5", 145 pounds, man, and he played tight end for us the last 2 weeks. You know, which is arguably the most important position on the offense side of the football for us. You know, when we got incoming freshmen coming in, the first thing we want to identify is who the tight end is in the group. You know, and you know, that's kind of been a position that's kind of been had some instability this season, and you know, what he's been able to provide for us the last couple weeks, you know, kind of being the primary guy there, has been outstanding. So he's another guy that we're proud of.
It's a big one tomorrow night in the Open Air Crow Dome as you fight for playoff seeding. I think this is a game that could really give you some strong momentum to go into the 2 biggest weeks of the season. To get there, though, you got to get through tomorrow night and come out with a W. Is that something that you welcome? I know you talk to the kids talking about playoff mentality. Do you welcome that pressure?
And my boy Bryce Brown said in the car, pressure good, baby. You know what I'm saying? I love pressure, you know. Pressure makes diamonds, man. I'm not afraid of pressure. I've never been scared of pressure, you know. You know, I think that, unfortunately, with the youth and inexperience, I think that this team has not overall throughout the course of the season handled the pressure very well, but I think that we're turning the corner. And I've said this many a times that the best days of this team and the best days of this football program is ahead of us. You know, we've only got 10 seniors on this team, you know, and I think we've got like 31 or 32 freshmen right now. And out of those 31, 32 freshmen, like 7 or 8 of them are out there on the field for us right now in some way, shape, or form, you know. So our best days are ahead of us. And, you know, even though we might not have handled pressure well early on this season, I expect us to handle it even better going forward.
I want to thank everybody who came out to Pizzaville, USA tonight. It's been our best crowd of the entire season. It was nice to have Coach Billy McCauley, also Reggie Cormier joining us as well. I want to thank Seth Dickerson, the director of the AOIT program, as well as his students that power this broadcast each and every week. Also, Ross Noel, class of 2024, keeps coming in clutch with those hype videos each and every week.
Man, killing it with the mic'd up. You know, I ain't really on social media that much no more, man, but I know Ross is killing it, brother, and we're very blessed and fortunate to have him and so many other students, you know. I'm very excited about the Academy of Information Technology. Once again, I think our best days are ahead of us. We got a brand new multi-million-dollar facility that should be completed within the next 2 years that's going to replace the Butler buildings on the, what is that? That is the west side of the campus. You know, my boys would maybe be happy that I know my directions, you know. That was one of the things they asked me.
North-south is the most important, though, right?
They used to say, hey, you know, they call me Vino. They say, hey, Vino, where's North? I said, I don't know. I've been on the car. That's how I look, you know. So I think they'll be proud that I know my directions now, man. But, you know, just very excited about the future of our school. And, you know, the Academy of Information Technology has really stepped the game up and, you know, doing something that's iconic, you know, that's iconic and legendary. Don't know many schools in the state of Louisiana that's operating the way we're operating right now. So very proud of us, and I know we'll continue to take it to even higher places. Also
want to thank Pizzaville USA and the Ground Patty for powering these broadcasts for you each and every week. Tomorrow night, live from the Open Air Crow Dome, we'll start with pregame, 6:45, kickoff at 7. You can catch us on the Carencro Bears Network, on Facebook and YouTube. And if you're on the radio dial, you can catch Coach Christopher Kovac and I on Z105.9. This time we did it on a Thursday. We'll be back to our normal Tuesday night next week, live from Pizzaville, USA. And you can only catch the GPR You With Me show at one place. It's the Carencro Bears Network.
That's it. All right.